I play Grace. I'm a soldier who comes from the future for reasons that are not initially clear, and lands in Mexico City and is there to find Danny Ramos. These scars came from a medical procedure that Grace underwent to become an augment, which is not quite a cyborg, but pretty close. And it replaces your bones with a very dense material. It increases your ability to heal. You have a full blood transfusion or replacement with something that sort of operates this new augmented machinery inside of your body. She can run extremely fast. She can hear extremely well. She can see at far distances and slow things down and see things sooner than they're happening. So she is a super soldier. Grace is very well equipped to protect Danny from the Rev 9, but ultimately Terminators are almost unkillable. And the most she can do is protect and isolate and get in between the Rev 9 and Danny, but killing a Rev 9 is almost impossible. So she is much more adept than a normal human being at protecting and fighting a Rev 9, but nothing competes with advanced AI bent on killing a human. I mean, it's a real hero's journey. She is this sort of nobody who gets plucked out of what she might think of as an unimportant existence and is called upon to take the reins in her own life and to act bravely and selflessly. And I think we're all really invested in stories where people risk their, not just their lives, but their comfort and their normalcy, and they take the reins of fate. I think it's something we aspire to be, and very few of us get the chance, or if we are given the chance, are able to rise to the occasion, and we like having these idols of people that show us what bravery and morality is, even if it's a complicated morality. I got to work on it with Linda a little bit, and meeting her and just learning more about her journey and how interesting it is to have this woman who is this 20-year-old or 25-year-old, heroine, but in a really unusual way, and seeing her age into her 60s and seeing who this woman is now. I think it's a pretty unusual thing to see a woman have that arc of her life portrayed on screen, and I just was excited to be a part of it. I can't imagine this movie with another two actresses, not just because I love Natalia and Linda so much, but it's a very delicate balance having three people in a group. I mean, there's a reason three's company. Like, it's a hard balance to strike, and it's been so sort of seamless and loving and wonderful, and we've all found it really hard and challenging and rewarding, and like just the whole gamut of emotions you could have about a thing that we've experienced and we've all experienced together, and I think we've been able to be really weak around each other and really strong around each other, and it's just been such a wonderful thing to go through this with them. It's been one of the best experiences of my career. The whole movie is a sequence of like an enormous, unbelievable action sequence that takes place in all the elements and in all degrees of altitude. And I think if you're looking for a movie where someone is pursuing people and there are action sequences after action sequences, you will get that in this movie. I think Gabriel is doing an incredible job playing Gabriel, the Rev 9. His physicality is amazing, and watching sort of where he started. And I mean, we've been shooting separate movies a lot of the time because his sequences are not tied to ours. For a lot of the movie, he's pursuing us, and then there's the times that we come together, but a lot of the movie we're sort of separate. So he'll go away and then I'll see him in a couple weeks, and just the way his physicality and his mannerisms have changed for Gabriel are really, really beautiful to watch. He's like a dancer. They're really, they're great. So whenever I get a chance to fight him and perform against him, I feel awed by how much time he's had to put into the physical aspect of it, because it's an amazing thing to work with, and it really does, because he's made himself so precise. It really does feel like you're fighting an advanced machine. I think I was always like, what? What? Because the action sequences are so insane in this movie. And then when we were shooting them, I was also like, what? This is insane. So I always thought the sequences were incredible. I think I never stopped being surprised that I was the person doing them. I don't think anyone in my life would have anticipated that I would be in this position. And it's really exciting to be doing something that I was in no way like physically able to 6 months ago, and now to be hanging off the side of a Humvee plummeting to the earth, which I didn't even know that they could do, that's how they airdropped Humvees, and doing acrobatics around it was so, just a surprise to me. Tim is such a buoyant, lovely person to work with, and he just keeps everyone so excited about this thing we're making, and doesn't get bogged down in the technical difficulties of making a movie of this scale, but really just loves the process and is so excited about the story and the images that he's going to make. And that's such a lovely thing to be around every day, especially when the work you're doing is really physically demanding, and you wonder sometimes if there's like enough time to really act in the midst of all of this physical work. But he makes it all feel really exciting. I think the central story is the story of these three women on a journey to save the world. And I think that's the story that you're going to lock into, and that feels really important. And the stuff that happened in 1984 and 1991 is imbued throughout the story in this movie, but it's not, the key to understanding what's going on. It really feels like the story is about Danny Ramos and Grace and Sarah Connor. When Arnold finally got here, it was both so mundane and so surreal, where we were already in the routine and had been working so much, Natalia and Linda and I, for 2 months by the time Arnold arrived, or maybe even longer. And we were excited, because it's so exciting when you're working every day on a movie to get like fresh blood. And it was so exciting when he came. But then you're just back in the everyday work of it, and you get used to something so quickly. And then every once in a while I'd be like, damn, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then you just get back to normal. So it's funny, those things that feel sort of extremely, normal and part of your day, until you just realize that things are a little bit heightened in a way.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!